Hello everybody and welcome to the GMS magazine videos. I am Paco Garcia and this is the RPG A Day 2019 initiative, an initiative created by Dave Chapman, Mr. Autocratic, who thought it would be a good idea, and it is, to actually talk about role-playing games every single day during the month of August. And that's exactly what we are doing. Down there in the show notes there is a link to his blog and you can find there a lot more information about it. And since you're there, please, down there you find the subscribe button to the channel. Please press it so you can get notifications when we upload more videos about this and many other topics that will be coming in the forthcoming and not too far distant future. The word for today is love. It's a very tricky word. And it's a very tricky situation because, firstly, some people mistake love with sex. They can go together, but they are not necessarily the same thing. You can have platonic love that doesn't require any sexual encounters. You can have love between friends without having to go into any kind of, intersexual intercourse sort of thing. You can go into romantic love where you actually fall for somebody. It is a very tricky topic. My goodness, it's difficult in real life. Imagine in a role-playing game. A role-playing game might be slightly easier to tackle because there are less consequences to it. Doesn't matter if your half-orc becomes pregnant. So what? But if there is a rejection, that can be kind of, nasty. So it's a topic that has to be approached carefully. And also, we shouldn't really mistake it. One thing is to have sex with somebody, and you can do that in-game, as long as it's consensual, of course. It doesn't need to have any love involved in it, just sex. But when there is love, how do you develop that? It can be a very interesting tool, don't get me wrong. It can be quite a fantastic way to explore feelings, to explore camaraderie, to explore jealousy, to figure out, how would your character react to that? What happens if a gnome falls for your dwarf? What happens then? How would the families go for it? How would it be accepted? Or maybe not, I don't know, I have no idea. How would it play out in your game? What's the cultural background of those two species? How would that work? Are both the same gender? Because that will also make a difference. How are you going to approach that? Is that allowed in your game? And if it isn't allowed in your game, what kind of bigot are you? And yes, if you don't allow same-sex, same-gender love in your games, you are a bloody bigot. What can I say? Love is pervasive in pretty much any reality we manage to create. And love is a very, very powerful motivator to do an awful lot of things. When somebody is asking us to rescue someone else, whether it is in a D&D game or Call of Cthulhu or any other, that's because there's some love, there's some appreciation, there's some affection going on at some level somewhere. Is it obvious? I don't know. But it's a pervasive thing. When the innkeeper is married to another person, that's because there's some love in there. And, if there's a little child going around at the inn, there is a love going on there, even if it's unspoken, but it is there. Love is a very, very powerful motivator. It can be a very powerful tool as well to be used to lure characters. What would happen if one of the characters fell in love with, or a villain fell in love with one of the characters? What then? How would that play with the rest? How would that affect your adventure, your world, your campaign? Love has to be dealt with carefully, no doubt, but use it properly. Include it in your games. Dig it in. recently, just so you know, and this truly happened at my gaming club. These adventurers, they started a campaign. It was a fantasy campaign, and they started this campaign, and the rulers hired the players to do something. Can't remember what it was. I can't remember what it was because they said, okay, but me and this other guy, we want to get married. And the ruler of the land said, oh, no, it cannot happen. That's not allowed in this land. What? The party of players, instead of running the adventure that the GM had planned, what they did was to actually rally against the government. They managed to overthrow the government so they could make same-sex marriage legal and perfectly acceptable. There was a demi-leech, that's what it was. They had been hired to kill a leech that was threatening with destroying the world. Well, the place decided, no, I want to get married. I will go for the leech when I can get married with the man I love. That's it. And if to do that I need to overthrow you, then so be it. So they went against the whole establishment, the whole thing. They did the whole adventure about how to overcome this and established same-sex marriage as a normal, perfectly legal thing. And by the time they did all that, the Lich King finished the ritual and destroyed the world. That's it. But that love was enough of a motivator, was enough of a tool to spark a whole different adventure, a whole new thing that was completely and utterly unplanned because of love. So, go for it. Include love in your games. Be careful when and how you do it, but enjoy it, because I bet you anything that if you do it properly, you're going to love it. Thank you very much for being there. Truly appreciate that. Give me your comments, thumbs up or down, regarding whether you've liked the video or not. And I will talk to you very soon.